In a world where everything was peaceful, drones, or what people thought were drones, began to appear in the skies over New Jersey and North Carolina. The government shut down and did not know what to do. They said they weren't ours. They said they don't know whose they are. This world was plunged into chaos, with people resorting to hoarding necessities and wearing face masks, but worse was to come. The strip clubs remained open while pools shut down. It was a tragedy. Then the horns started going off and everyone thought it was the end. An unfortunate situation indeed. However, when the blaring horns shattered the silence, panic engulfed everyone, convinced the end had arrived. But then, like a glimmer of hope, the A-Team was united. Matthew McConaughey, Snoop Dogg, and Professor Finkel formed a team with unique skills the world had not seen before. Their mission? To combat the mysterious invading drones, later identified as the Super Warrior Space Ninja Force.
All right, boys. What are we gonna do?
You got any ideas, Professor Finkel?
Let's see. If this mothership, as you call it, is to be destroyed, we need to start by finding a way to take out its shields. Once the shields are down, the entire ship will be vulnerable and easy to destroy.
What do we know about the mothership's shields and their defensive capabilities? I'm no expert in this field, Professor, so help me out.
Professor, we've been trying to find a way through those shields for weeks now. Got any ideas?
Yes, I do. Finkel walks over to a nearby wall and starts drawing a complex equation with a piece of chalk. Once he is done, he turns back around. This is the key we need to destroy the shields.
Matthew McConaughey looks at the equation on the wall, his eyes scanning over the complex symbols and numbers. Professor, this looks like some next-level stuff. Mind explaining it in terms a mere mortal like me can understand?
Well, the equation on the wall is a combination of advanced physics, engineering, and mathematics. In order to simplify it, we need to break it down into smaller concepts. First, we need to focus on understanding the basic principles of energy transfer and conversion. This will help us understand how to harness and manipulate the energy needed to break through the shields.
All right, Professor. So we need to understand energy transfer and conversion. Got it. But once we've done that, what do we actually need to build this magic machine that can take down those shields?
To construct the machine, there are a few key components and materials that we will need. Firstly, we will require a highly specialized energy conversion unit, which will be responsible for extracting and then redirecting the energy required to break through the shields. This unit will be the backbone of the machine. We will also need a complex array of sensors and detectors to monitor and analyze the shield's composition and structure. With this data, we can fine-tune the machine and ensure that it is effective against those shields. Lastly, we will need a massive power source to fuel the entire operation.
That's quite the checklist, Professor. Where are we gonna find all this stuff?
Well, as a matter of fact, I happen to have something that might just come in handy here. You guys remember I showed you the magical pocket trick? I can pull just about anything I need from these, well, pockets. Let's see what we got here.
Professor Finkel seems slightly amused by McConaughey's claim, but also intrigued. All right, go on then. Let's see what you're able to find.
Matthew McConaughey sticks his hand into his pocket and rummages around for a few moments before pulling out a small but seemingly important piece of machinery. Well, would you look at that? I believe we have ourselves a highly specialized energy conversion unit right here.
That's a start. What about the sensors and detectors? Do we have those?
Professor Finkel's eyes widen slightly as McConaughey holds up the energy conversion unit. Well, that is quite fortunate. It seems that your pockets are indeed more than meets the eye. As for the sensors and detectors, we'll need some high-tech equipment to get the job done. Do you think you have any of those lying around?
Matthew McConaughey chuckles and dives back into his pocket. Well, I'll be darned. Here we go, Professor. High-tech sensors, detectors, and analysis equipment right here in my pocket. This thing can really work miracles.
Snoop laughs in disbelief. Well, if that ain't a miracle, I don't know what is. But what about a power source? How are we gonna power all this?
Matthew McConaughey grins and reaches back into his pocket. Now you're speaking my language. The power source, you say? No problem at all. How about a giant fusion generator straight from my pockets? Will that do the trick?
Damn, son. What else you got in there?
Chill out, Snoop Dogg. I don't have your dad and that bottle of milk from the store.
Ah, hell no. You trying to get blasted, fool?
If guys, please calm down. We really need to start piecing together the shield blaster to take down the Super Warrior Space Ninja mothership.
Aight, homie. What do we gotta do to piece this all together?
Finkel looks at the components they have gathered so far. First, we'll need to connect the energy conversion unit and the sensors / detectors to the fusion generator to provide the machine with power. We'll need to carefully wire all of the components together to ensure that the machine functions properly. Once that's done, we'll need to run some diagnostics and tests to confirm that the machine is configured correctly.
Matthew McConaughey nods in agreement. All right, Professor. Sounds like you've got the technical side covered. Once the machine is built, how are we going to get it up to the mothership? I'm guessing we can't just waltz in there.
Professor Finkel scratches his head in thought. You're right, we can't just walk up to the mothership and install the device. We'll need some way to reach it without being detected. Maybe some sort of covert approach. Any ideas on how we can do that?
Snoop Dogg looks around the room, sensing the need for secrecy before whispering to the group. I may have an idea, but you gotta promise to keep it just between us, all right?
Matthew McConaughey looks at Snoop Dogg, curious and intrigued. You have my attention. What's this idea of yours, Snoop?
Snoop Dogg leans in closer, even quieter this time. I got some skills that no one knows about. Skills that could help us get close enough to that ship without being seen. But you gotta keep it hush-hush, okay?
Roger that, Commando. Spit it out.
Snoop Dogg grins. I got stealth. Like, serious stealth skills. I can move around unseen by pretty much anyone. If we can get me close enough to the ship, I can get in and get this device installed. But it's gotta be discreet, and it's definitely a solo job. I'll be in and out before they know what hit them.
What kind of stealth are we talking about, Snoopy? How does that work?
Snoop Dogg smiles slyly. I can move like a shadow, man. Like a goddamn ninja. I got crazy good camouflage, and I can blend in with any environment. I've trained myself to become damn near invisible even when I'm walking right in front of someone's face. And I've got mad stealth moves, too. I'm talking about sneaking around like a ghost, no one suspecting a thing.
Professor Finkel ponders for a moment before nodding his head. Your plan has merit. If you can move around undetected, then we can use your skills to our advantage. Your ability to slip in and out of the mothership without being noticed could be just what we need to get the device inside.
How long will it take you to piece together the machine, Professor?
Finkel looks over at the various components they have gathered. It shouldn't take too long to put together all the pieces. I think I can have everything wired together and tested within a few hours. But I'll need some time to run some final diagnostics and make sure everything is properly configured.
After a moment of surprise, Snoop Dogg bursts out laughing. Matthew McConaughey grins. Looks like we've got a bit of downtime, Professor. So, strip club?
Snoop Dogg laughs and high-fives McConaughey. You read my mind, man. Let's hit the strip club and celebrate. Sounds like a plan to me.
On second thought, Professor, you stay here and finish the machine. Snoopy and I will be back in a few hours to come in and check on you.
Now let's go get some strippers and a 40.
With a plan scrapped together, Matthew McConaughey and Snoop Dogg left Professor Finkel to do the engineering while they went off in search of the nearest strip club. A plan indeed.